Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be the top AI, Eris, taking on a formidable opponent, BenBot. And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, as always, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can get, 9,000 likes on this video, 9,001 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more bot matches, as that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And then leave a comment if you haven't already, or pardon me, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, let's just see where this one's gonna go here, as we've got a hatchery on the way for Eris. BenBot is going for a bit of a bunker rush, it says. However, it's not building the racks out on the map like it sometimes does. It's just building it back at home, then probably going to bunker the natural base, but we'll see whether that actually gets off or not. This SCV is just chilling. Eris does send out a drone that actually does go past that bunker. I assume Eris is going to pull drones after seeing that. Yes, it does. So BenBot's bunker does get scouted. This poor SCV is going to be in for it, as many drones with their machine-like micro do cut into that very quickly, and then the bunker is just going to be canceled right out the gate. So a successful shutdown from Eris, it would seem, as the Zerg bot goes back to mining. It does leave a drone here. I wonder what this guy's just hanging out to do, whether that's just to be a spotter or perhaps bugged and just hanging out. But anyway, BenBot not going to have any success with that proxy. The Terran bot has gone for lots of scouting itself with 2 more SCVs out on the map. And then, yeah, just getting up a command center at the natural base. So a small commitment for the Terran to get nothing done. But it's not the end of the world. And so, yeah, Eris is now just free to macro up for the most part. This one Marine is going to move across the map and try poking a little bit, but I think success shall be very limited. BenBot sends out another SCV with this Marine, so grouping up to try and get this bunker down. But, I mean, Eris has already got, well, it's going up to 8 lings already. That's more than enough to shut this down. Against a bot that was asleep at the wheel, a follow-up like this may work, but it's just not going to get anything done for BenBot, so Eris should be in a very fine position, I imagine. The Zerg bot does throw up a spine crawler, interestingly enough, and this third hatchery does continue to be shot. Now Eris is moving out with its lings. Looks like BenBot sees this, as the lings are focused on the Marine down here. This may actually let the bunker complete. We'll have to wait and see. However, once that Marine goes down, yes, it's time for a new target, as this Queen starts to fight one of the Marines. That's probably going to kill it off. The second Marine could be in trouble, although the Queen derps out a little bit. But we do see BenBot saying, bunker rush, cancel Zerglings. As, yeah, that is a lot of Zerglings. So BenBot gets the bunker up, but then is seemingly just going to head on home. And Eris is chilling on a lower drone count, as it did have to produce all of these lings. And then we have got the natural wall going up for BenBot, a bunker back at home, a factory going up as well, as the natural command center is up and mining. So the Terran bot will seem to have a bit of an economic lead. However, Eris does go back into drones. So the economy is going to be on the up and up for the Zerg. Queen steps forward. Now, one thing that I do believe is interesting, I've quoted this a few times, so if I say things like this too much, but I do think it is quite an interesting thing, is that there's no way if you program a bot to just right out the gate tell if there's units in a bunker. I believe that every bunker to a bot appears like it's got units in, which is probably why Eris is not attacking this, it thinks that the bunker's full. Now, as a programmer, there definitely is ways around that if you wanted to take the time to take care of that, and that would simply just be to have a unit walk out and attack the bunker. And if the bunker shoots you, well, you know it's got stuff in it. The bunker does get salvaged for BenBot, so that'll disappear. As Eris is unleashed, it immediately sends out the scouting lings. Very cool. So it was just waiting for a safe path for those lings. They're now going to scatter all over the map. The Zerg bot is producing a few more roaches behind this, So quite a lot of units for Eris, and it doesn't have much of an economy compared to its opponent, as BenBot is mining away on 2 bases. If we pull up that income tab, it is massively in favor. And yeah, there's that APM tab. Let's see here, as BenBot does have another scouting SCV out on the map, interestingly enough. I'm not sure what this is for, as a few Marines do step out, trying to work away on some of these Lings. And now a 3rd command center is going to be going up for BenBot, landing on location. However, Eris does have a Ling hanging out there to block that base. We'll see if these Marines do clean it up. It looks like they will, so the CC actually does get to land, and no more time was wasted. I did worry a bit for BenBot there, because it is a bot that basically it will try to land the CC once, it seems, most of the time, and then just float it off to another spot. So it's good that that Ling was killed prior to the CC landing. We've got that scouting SCV going down. So far, very minimal amount of stuff has died this game. We do have BenBot with a fusion core done, so there could potentially be a battle cruiser on the way soon, and there it is. And Eris is going to be in a bit of trouble if it has to make a anti-battle cruiser army in the near future, as it's just getting its economy back on track. It doesn't really want to be sidetracked at all. So we'll see how aggressive BenBot is going to be with that battle cruiser. If it moves out right away and Eris has to panic, throw down a spire or a ton of spores, it'll be a bit rough. Now, so the longer Eris is given to get out its high drone count is going to be important. We've got a Ling constantly poking at this planetary, just saying, hey, yeah, the planetary's still there. I don't want to go near that. Oh my gosh, it actually does go near that. Oh no, why? Why? Little Billy the Ling got too close to the PF. Sometimes bot padding isn't perfect. I do wonder what actually happened in that exact scenario. The Ling was doing just fine, and then all of a sudden it's like, my time has come. So I really have no idea. Anyway, the 4th base going on up for Eris. So the Zerg bot does continue to macro up, just pumping out drones like a good Zerg should. And it is going to be catching up to BenBot in workers. BenBot does go for a planetary at the 3rd base. This is a common critique of BenBot, just the rate that it expands and the amount of tech it invests in does kind of slow it down despite having a big worker lead. Eris is now going to take that worker lead, probably take the base lead. We do have a Zergling hanging out at the 4th base location for BenBot, 5th base as well. More Lings are being produced. Tech-wise, though, BenBot is in a fine position. The Terran bot's got lots of tech on the way, a little bit of everything. And Eris does get that 4th base just about done, so it will be saturating that up fairly quickly. BenBot's 4th command center will finish up as well, though. We'll see how long it takes it to clean up the Zergling at this expansion location. That does lift off. Does it send out, say, the Raven to go clean that up? Not yet. So I'm wondering, we'll have to keep an eye on this as far as the programming behavior goes. When will BenBot say, hey, that command center location is blocked by a Ling? Will the CC wait, or will it just fly somewhere else? Because I believe that Raven should be primed in order to free up that expansion. But sometimes the behavior of trying to clear out the burrowed Lings does mess up. For those of you wondering, burrowed Lings is a very common strategy from bot authors because it takes a very specific response that's not easy to implement. We do now have that command center trying to land. It says, nope, can't do it. So BenBot may just be spamming chat. However, oh no, this SCV is trying to build that turret, but it gets blocked. I think that turret may have now be blocking the command center. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. Oh yeah, it must have been because it lands right after it dies. So just a slight delay on the CC. Good to see BenBot does actually wait for that to be cleared up, because sometimes it does just float that command center away. The Terran bot is building a bit of a mix of mech and bio. Now, investing in all these bio upgrades is not cheap, so this is part of the reason why it does take BenBot a while to tech up. That's why Eris is now ahead in supply. We do have Lings coming in for Eris, trying to get some harassment done prior to the PF completing, but that planetary will be done relatively soon, and the tank and all the units are there to defend it. The Zerg has seen there's battle cruisers as well, so we're getting a Spire and Infestation Pit. And looks like BenBot will be trying to land a 5th base location, and it's gonna see that that's blocked. The Hellion does come down. Will the scan get dropped? The CC's just hanging out hanging out back and forth, spamming chat a little bit. The Raven's slowly making its way on over there. We do hear a teleport as 2 battlecruisers teleport to the back of BenBot's base, or of Eris's base. Yamato Cannon kills one of the spores. Many Hydras are coming in to help clean this up, though, and they should be able to push this away. The battlecruisers notably do have +1 armor, so they're a little tougher than you'd think. And notably pointed out by Ketrock, actually, as we were casting the SC2AI tournament, which I'll probably be doing every Sunday for the next little while, assuming I can, and assuming they'll keep having me. Yeah, he pointed out that once these BCs are off cooldown, it's very cool. BenBot is actually programmed to go back in and then teleport out, just to get the maximum efficiency of those BCs. As they're just hanging and hiding out, that planetary location was cleared up. BenBot does get up a 5th base, relatively unharassed. However, now the Zerg is coming in. Eris had a ridiculous 101 drones. No, not 101 Dalmatians, 101 drones. It's a very different movie. And let's see, Roaches, Ravagers, Hydras moving forward. However, there is a planetary fortress. There is siege tanks present. Really just the one siege tank. The bio isn't going to do that well against this Roach, Ravager, Hydra composition, but the planetary is very strong. The BCs also in the skies are mighty tough. Still though, Eris is pushing forward, picking off the turrets. Roaches notably trying to target down the SCVs. That's very big. It's good logic. If all the SCVs die, the planetary won't be repaired, and it's something that's a little difficult to do as humans, but these bots are very good at that target fire to kill off the workers. So BenBot loses a few workers to that attack. The Terran bot, though, is still in a very fine position as it is securing up that 6th base. Raven cleaned out the burrowed Ling there. Eris, though, with a high economy, is going to be maxed out once more. We do hear BenBot once again say jump to enemy base as Eris is going to go, oh no, not again, as the battlecruisers come on in. However, there is many Corruptors coming in to respond to this. Look at the micro on those Corruptors, getting in to attack, but then pulling out just to make them be exposed to fire as little as possible. Now, these Corruptors can potentially chase the BCs into the corner. One of them will die, and they actually all may die, as there's no more Yamato Cannon, and so that's going to be 3 dead battlecruisers due to the Corruptor presence, it would seem. So that is not good for BenBot, as those things aren't cheap. That being said, the Terran bot is on a very high economy, so it should be able to replace these units. Gas does seem to be the main bottleneck right now, even though it's mining a very high amount of gas. Eris is mining even a little bit more, though, as it does have so many bases. The Zerg is coming in to try and attack this planetary before it finishes up. We have a Neural Parasite go down on the battlecruiser. It gets Neuraled twice. Neural actually interrupts that teleport, and Roaches and Lings are going to kill off this PF before it gets up. There's double Neural Parasite on 2 more battlecruisers, and Corruptors start targeting down those BCs, which are now on the red team. That is just Eris wanting to ensure the kill on them. A Ling immediately burrows where the dead planetary is, so BenBot is in a bit of trouble right now. The Terran bot invests in so much tech, and then the BCs don't trade that well, that it does kind of put it on the back foot, not being able to be maxed out despite being on 85 workers and having quite an economy. A big part of this is the fact that, I mean, it's all planetaries. There's only 2 orbital commands dropping mules. I know I say this every time I cast a BenBot game, but it's kind of hard to ignore. It's a big factor. It's why the Terran's income isn't as high as other Terrans would be. And so Eris, with its good speed mining and ridiculous number of bases, can trade out fairly well, and it's trading out well enough that it's actually able to just keep taking these good trades. Siege tanks are getting shots off on some of the Hydras. Battlecruisers are doing what they can, as long as they don't get Neural Parasited. Injured ones teleporting on out. Looks like this command center may stay alive. We'll see if BenBot sends something to repair it, as that's quite important. The Terran bot is holding on 5 bases, but we are seeing massive creep spread. The Terran bot has gone into many Vikings, though, to actually deal with the Corruptors, which is quite a nice counter to them, as while the Corruptors in this day and age have very high acceleration and move speed, so do the Vikings. They are just so darn quick, and that basically means they're able to get easy shots off on the Corruptors. They're fanning on in, looking to get some more shots off. Very cool, though. Eris has brought a Spore Crawler forward just to help control the area, but still the tank, the planetary, are holding strong for BenBot. BenBot is building more turrets at its bases as well, which I love. Sometimes we'd see 2 turrets, which doesn't really cut it, but if Eris's Corruptors are flying over 3 turrets, that causes a lot of pain. auto turrets killing off an infestor, BenBot is going to have a very difficult time getting up a 6th base, but it is still taking some much better trades for the past minute. I mean, it was what, 11,000 to 11,000 a minute ago? Now it's 11,000 to 19,000. That is a massively good fight for BenBot in the past minute. Maybe it's the Vikings picking off all those corruptors. Who knows? Anyway, we do have another command center attempting to find new land. BenBot is like, yeah, there's no way this location has been taken, right? As it flies over a bunch of creep, but it's just very logical programming from the bot author. We've even got a turret building in a spot somehow with no creep on it, so that SCV managed to find the golden location. Battlecruisers coming on in. There's Ravens present as well to clean up creep, clean up this Ling, and maybe we'll see BenBot be able to take this location. It is actually taking Eris a while to remax out since it lost so many units. However, we are now seeing the Zerg come on in. Neural Parasites go down on 2 of the battle cruisers. Yamato cannons getting dumped, but they're not going to be that efficient as the Hydras and Corruptors and Infestors are able to get some good pickoffs. The Vikings, I mean, they're good against the Corruptors, but not much else, so this big Hydra ball is problematic. That command center is going to burn down. We do have this other CC flying around as BenBot was actually trying to double expand, which is very cool. I feel like usually it's just building one expansion at a time, but maybe it gets up more when it's just got one that's been flying around so long. It still keeps building new ones that eventually it will appear to be trying to double expand. Now, battlecruisers still trading out. There is Vikings in the skies as the planetaries do such good work against all the Hydras. Like, how many kills does this one tank have? 20 kills on that siege tank. This one up to 17. That is no joke, and those are only +1 attack tanks. So as more upgrades get on those, the trades will get better for Eris. It's still very, very, very important to watch as this game goes on, though, whether BenBot's able to get up a 6th base, because that is going to be everything. You can trade well, but you do still need a certain number of bases in the game, and Eris has got many of those bases as it's still mining on 91 drones, able to take more and more of these locations. The Zerg can also just keep trading out, and it has kind of been just this interesting dynamic that it's very apparent if a bot isn't trading long enough, if it doesn't have a good enough economy. Because these bots, they just constantly fight. Unlike human players, they tend not to build up too big of a bank. And so naturally, at the speed they trade out, the bot that can't replace as fast is going to actually fall down in supply with big repercussions. That's a trend I've been noticing in these bot games. We do have Infestors neural parasiting another battlecruiser. Yamato cannon kills that Infestor, though. Hydras and Corruptors are trading out. Infestors getting sniped, though, by Ghosts. BenBot does have Ghosts, and it's actually using snipes, which is very cool. That's not something you see every day. We do have another command center flying on over here. There is a Ling. It's not burrowed, but there's also creep blocking this location, so BenBot's just going to park that there for now, it would seem. Still, though, Eris lost quite a bit, so it's going to take some time to replace it. Income-wise, though, if we pull that up, the Zerg has a massive lead, as BenBot must be starting to mine out, or maybe it's just had so many SCVs pulled to repair. There's still a fair few minerals for BenBot to mine, but yes, it will start to mine out. The battlecruisers are flying around, and the BC count is actually quite high right now, 10 BCs, as BenBot has hit a critical count. The battlecruisers, they are engaging spore crawlers, going to be taking those down, as there's also this command center flying into the hot zone, as Hydra's underneath, Corruptors moving on in against the battlecruiser. Neural Parasite catches the BC before it teleports out. One of them does get out. Another one does get picked off before the teleport is successful, and this is the risk of having the BCs kind of not grouped up properly, as they are weak and can get picked off one by one. Vikings are doing a beautiful job kiting against these Corruptors. Baiting them over the turrets is so huge as they do retreat. So that's where BenBot can get some good pickoffs. However, Eris was able to kill off quite a few battlecruisers. 11 dead BCs so far this game, thanks to that machine spellcasting. It's pretty darn good. Eris, though, is going to try and come on in once again. This is where the Zerg bot loses a lot of its efficiency, trying to break planetary fortresses. Battlecruisers are still trading out as they constantly are getting repaired for BenBot here, as they just TP back. It's the battlecruiser repair shop, and BenBot just keeps trading on out. Looks like it will lose another battlecruiser, though. Yamato cannon's going down, getting some pickoffs. I think that was a dead Infestor there. They are, of course, the high-profile targets being the natural predators of the battlecruiser. Good pullback on these injured BCs, keeping them alive. Vikings are getting so many shots off as more battlecruisers come forward. The Corruptors for Eris don't even have that good of upgrades right now. They only have 2-1, and eventually, presumably, they'll get 3-3, so they'll be even more lethal, which is concerning, as BenBot doesn't really have any more upgrades to go for the battlecruisers to improve their odds. The Terran bot is having a very difficult time taking another base. It's gonna try, but BenBot maintains supply for now. It's not easy to do though. Massive fungal growth hits some of these Vikings. Apologies for missing the actual casting of that, as these bot games are chaotic and fun to watch and observe as always, but it really is difficult to keep up. Turret gonna get plopped down once more. Auto turret gonna clean up some of this creep, as BenBot does a pretty good job of cleaning up the creep these days. I'm not sure if that tumor's too far forward though. I think it's a little too far forward, so we'll see if BenBot throws down an auto turret. They really are a good option to try and secure up these expansions, but it's definitely not a given. So we're waiting on this Raven to rebuild energy, as it may throw it down to kill these Lings. Hydras are coming on in though. Ghosts are low on HP, no medics to heal them up, so they got to be careful. Yamato cannons are getting tossed on down. Scan goes down. 2 of the BCs get neural parasited. Looks like they do get broken free and shall escape for the most part though. Looks like Hydras are stepping forward into the tank range, into the planetary range, so that is actually good for BenBot. Vikings get caught with a fungal growth. They still need to avoid the Hydras. Most of the Corruptors seemingly did die there, and the tanks and PF for BenBot really just are the winning comm position. Still though, this one creep tumor is a little bit too far forward. We sometimes see this in BenBot games. It does do a good job of cleaning up most of the creep, but not all of it. This turret does get thrown down, so that I mean, like, BenBot knows there's a tumor there. It's seen it with the Ravens in the past, but it's still just having a hard time actually getting something over to clean it up. I think the bot author may need to widen the pathing of the Raven as far as where it will throw down turrets. Of course, sometimes the Ravens just sort of get spammed with creep tumors in units that they need to clean up, so this expansion can be taken. We've got another expansion being attempted on this location, as BenBot will be double parking its bases if it can. Oh, looks like an auto turret does go down. Does the Raven stay in range of it long enough? Yes, it does. So the creep tumor falls. BenBot may be able to expand now. However, getting up the expansion actually requires the landing, the building of a planetary. SCVs say, hey, that is good enough for me, though, and they will move out to repair that up the planet, or it's actually going to be a different one. This one's totally having his parking spot be taken. Wait a second, he makes it in, as this command center will have to go find a new spot. And let's see, battlecruisers eating lots of damage. However, most of them are successfully teleporting on out, so that's actually quite a good trade for the Terran. The question is, will Eris kill this planetary before it turns into a PF? And the answer is probably, seeing as how the planetary just started morphing. Most of those SCVs did just get picked off. That is a lot of losses for BenBot. All these battle cruisers need to be repaired. That's not free as well. The Terran really just has one mining base left. It's got one base worth of mineral patches left. The planetary isn't the high value target right now though, as Eris does move forward, picking off the BCs, but honestly, screw the battle cruisers. It really needs this base up. Some more Yamato cannons going down as the BCs just continue to take this fight. They don't do bad against the Hydras. It's just once the spells are against them that it hurts. And the Hydras also walking into this commander tank with 37 kills is huge. The planetary is established, but oh no, Eris is coming on in. There's no SCVs present to repair this. Can a BC be a hero to save the day? Hydras are going to target down the planetary, and it will fall. What a disaster for BenBot, as I don't think the Blue Terran has another spare command center. It's just so darn broke, and I think that may have been what Eris needs to win the game. It got so close to getting it up, and these games, they so often depend whether BenBot can get up the expansion it needs, but it just wasn't able to. It was so darn close. I mean, just those creep tumors, they delayed it for so long. Maybe BenBot could have taken that base a little bit quicker if it was a little quicker with cleaning up the creep tumors, but it eventually did. It was just bottlenecked by Raven energy, so a very difficult position, and now things are just going to get worse and worse for the Terran bot, as Eris can maintain these trades all day long. It's got so many fresh bases still that it's barely even mining from. The Terran, it can repair this planetary as long as it's got money, but the SCVs are all being gutted. Battle cruisers are doing what they can, and the main base being repaired. But BenBot's going to run out of money real darn soon. Not even mining at this PF anymore, as it's just getting broken by the Zerg. Eris showing us once again how it is such a killer. It's not an easy bot to have your bot play the late game against. The tanks doing what they can. Battlecruiser Yamato's a friend, almost kills him and then dies anyway. So that is quite rough. Eris, it's barely been able to maintain its max out as it's been trading out so darn much. Just BenBot has lost way too much. Incredible trades for BenBot. 42,000 resources lost to 70,000. That's a darn good ratio, but it still needed one more base seemingly to make this happen. And if it had got up one more base, I think Eris may have ran out of steam. Maybe not, as Eris did still have quite a few fresh bases. But we generally know that the rule is the Terran needs 5 bases or more to win against Eris, seemingly 6. That's the minimum number. It does depend how many bases are on the map overall. We've got some nice Hellion harassment for BenBot, actually killing off some drones as they do try and burrow to avoid this Hellion. In comes some Lings, gonna kill that off probably. The last planetary gonna fall as its defender tank was picked off. This PF with 81 kills. So many dead Hydras this game. 225 Hydras, but it's not gonna be enough as the PF does crumble. The natural base still holding as Eris steps forward. Gonna be picking off these bunkers. The tank is getting some shots off. This one with 17 kills. Widowmine's backing it up, but the last of the battle cruisers are starting to fall. There's not even money to repair them anymore, really. And so well done by Eris, showing us why it's the top Zerg bot. Sometimes BenBot wins this, but not all the time. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below saying more bots, or you can write potatoes, bananas, I don't know, whatever it may be. And then, yeah, subscribe. If you watched up until this point and you're not subscribed, consider doing that. Also, I'll have the end screen on so you guys can just easily click on to the next video, which will pop up relatively soon once Eris cleans out most of this stuff, as it will do. And that is exactly what Eris is going to do. The last BC dies, and so shall BenBot's hopes and dreams. As Eris is just going to clean everything out. GG.